known to us as Antigua's Reggae Ambassador. After years of representing reggae music, armed with magnetic persona, toured around the world with some of the biggest name in the business. Antigua's Reggae Ambassador. Toured with artists such as Rita Marley, Dennis Emmanuel Brown, Freddie McGregor, Judy Mowat, just to name a few. And we're fortunate to have in the building. When I say fortunate to have in the building, not on the telephone, the ambassador himself, man. Caution.
Yes. This is a great feeling to be here with you, you know. It's been a while.
Imagine having the ambassador in the building.
It's been a while.
But you know, ironic, he just said this is the first time this song they're playing.
Yeah, we did. Antigua, I come from. And we did this song about 4 years now.
Wow.
And we released a different version of it. And while we were doing it, we created an acoustic version. And this particular track itself, you know what I mean, just moved me every time. It was just something that I just love. I just love sitting down and listening to it. And this is the first time that this song, and first time this is being played on the radio, and I'm humbled the fact that you get the opportunity to do it, because we have come so far.
So far, my brother.
And I give thanks that we are here.
Wow, it's a long time.
You know, it's been a while from back down, so if them could see where we're pointing from back down, so so it's a pleasure. You know, Kirk, that you get the opportunity for really play this, because you know you're somebody that I have the maximum respect for in this radio business here, and give thanks.
Mutual feeling, my brother. Yes. Mutual feeling. Again, we are broadcasting on Reggae North Radio, Toronto, Canada. I'm glad to. I know they're glad to have you on their airspace. We're also on Silk Radio in the UK, which are also very popular. In Atlanta, 1010, and of course, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and the Super Giants Radio. The household name Caution, man. The household name Caution. Let's start with the name Caution.
Caution. Why, the name they come to represent a lot of things now, you know. But it's been a journey that Caution has been on, you know, and, you know, there's some things I would change, and there's some things I wouldn't change. But it's been a long time coming, you know. So we are here today, and as I said again, you know, we just give thanks that we are still here and being able to deliver the message and the music in what way. So we have a lot to talk about, you know.
Let's clear up the confusion. A lot of people tell me to ask you, are you related to Maxi Priest?
No. No.
Have you ever been told that? Because a lot of people say...
Lots of times.
Yeah.
Lots of times. So much so that every time I run into Maxi, Caution, I said you got to...
Caution.
It's a funny thing still, you know, but every time I've been in the same space as him and he see me walking, that's the first thing that come out of me.
Yeah. Because you don't have that persona, that look. People tell me, asking me if I'm related to Caution. So they have it from Caution themselves. They're not related, but they're musical related, but not blood related. How many years have you been in the business, Caution?
Seems like forever. You know, a few people ask me that question, and it make me and all even think, because I started out around music, just not really taking it too seriously, and with my family members, my uncles and cousins and stuff that are musicians, and very accomplished musicians in their own right. And I would say the answer to that question is, well, over 30 odd years.
Wow.
Professionally. Professionally.
People in the chat room asking, where in Antigua are you from?
What Dudley, man? I'm from St. Paul's. If for anybody that knows that area there, St. Paul's, which is Falmouth, English Harbour, that area. I come from the boating world.
The boating world.
I grew up on the ocean. Yes. So for those who want to know, and at that side of the island, Antigua is known for mostly sailors. People that into a lot of boating and so on. My family, part of my family is into a lot of boats, and we grew up on the ocean, whether it be fishing or sailing or racing, and that was one thing in my life that I just never come out of my system. Because imagine you go to school. And at the end of your day, when you come home from school, you run home and you want to do your homework quickly. And first thing you want to go beach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you spend the rest of the afternoon in the evening on the water. You know, and it was a joy to be doing that. And that's something that has never left me.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Antigua's Reggae Ambassador, Causion. Being an ambassador, a reggae ambassador in Antigua, what kind of responsibility does that carry, my brother?
The responsibilities right now is growing, and it's growing in the right way at this stage in my life and our lives and the lives of the people that is around me. To more deal with what I've always wanted to do and what I've been always focusing on in terms of the music and promoting and pushing Antigua, because I find that Antigua itself has so much to offer the rest of the world. Antigua have 365 beaches, and I spend a lot of time on a lot of them, so I'm a living testament of that. But through the music itself, growing up as a youngster in Antigua, when I started doing music, and I realized that I started taking it seriously, right? Taking it seriously and realized the talent that I have and the talent of some of the other people around me. I realized that this 108 square miles can't do it, right? And we needed to figure out ways of how to get out of that 108 square miles to get to the rest of the world. So with that being said, now music was my avenue out. Reggae music was the channel, the avenue that I chose to walk down. And then when I moved to New York and I started to meet other people and get my interaction with a lot of other people, I realized that this is like, the sky is the limit here now. And then, everything just kind of took off from there. Now, all of a sudden, I realized that how does the rest of the talent in Antigua do it? How do they get out? How do they start to realize that you have a lot more weight on your shoulders to carry as you're doing that? So now the mission becomes a little bit more technical, and you realize now that people are looking at you as well as some other people, but they're looking at you to get them in that position as well. So I start focusing my energy on now letting everybody know where I'm from. Antigua me come from. Right. I'd like
a lot of people didn't know that.
A lot of people don't know that. I've never sidetracked from that at all. Like a lot of artists I know that I've met along the way. Sometimes you're talking to them and you really don't know where they're from, and they don't own up to where they're from because it's a stigma in the business that reggae music is this and that, and you have to be from that and so on. And I never turn away from that. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of where I'm from. And I would like to encourage anyone in my reach, come see where I'm from.
Yeah, man,
I will gladly go where you're from, right? So that we can enjoy it together.
Right.
Because this earth is a big earth.
True.
Right? This planet here, there's a lot of places.
Yeah, man, we love the fact that you're promoting where you're from. And, you know, I've always say, from you know that from the beginning on radio, I always say from the hills of Manchester, a little district of Bethany.
And I would love to go and spend time with you here, as well as I would love you to come and spend time, and we come sit down and reason about where we're from, you know, and we learn. You know, that is the beauty about it. We learn.
That takes me to another question where you've opened up for Third World through a tour in North and Central America, Caribbean, UK, Africa continent. Over the years that you've toured with these named artists like Rita Marley, Dennis Brown, and all that, how as we talk about reggae music, and we're quite free upon this program, and all, we're seeing some of the disconnect in Jamaica with reggae music in Jamaica. We're seeing the separation with dancehall and reggae and this and that, and even recently the misunderstanding with Cargo and Anthony Cruz over this rhythm here that Mike Spy is recording on that belongs to Neil Diamond. You're an ambassador in Antigua. How is the unity as it relates to reggae music?
Well, in terms of reggae music in Antigua, you know, Antigua is primarily known for the soca and the calypso. Right. During season, and right now is the season for that genre of music. So during this time here, nobody's thinking about nothing else but that, because everybody wants Carnival is coming. The minute Carnival done, we switch.
So there's a season where they promote certain music.
There's a season for it, and this time frame is the season for it, for the soca and the calypso and so on, and we embrace that because it's part of all of our culture from the Caribbean. Right. And we have to embrace it because all the music derive from somewhere, and you know, hence, you know, but this is the season.
So you should be a soca ambassador too.
Well, we left that for the soca man then. Yeah, we left that. I'm a musician, and I will promote. I will, you know, support all the genres of music.
Because you recorded song with like Alison Hines, and you know.
I've performed with Alison Hines. Never really.
You never did a song with her?
No, we just shared this.
You recorded a song with Gentleman, right?
Yes, Gentleman. Jai is the ruler. That was an experience.
Let's go back just a little bit, and let me see if I can remind some of the listeners, especially those in the UK, since you have a big name in the UK, I was told. Let me go back and remind the people of Jah. Jah is the ruler. Check it.
Yeah, and this is Caution and Gentleman. Heavenly Father, send down your love. Now, so that one day that we might pass across your way. And though sometimes it might seem like we're gonna be merciful, oh Jah, I say, to you I pray, oh Jah, we are not the first, now we are not the last generation. I go come and pass. Half of them I move too fast. Slow motion it I go last. Well, me swear under the stars. Why? And when you're down to the ground, like a prisoner down in a Babylon town. This is what around you is stumbling down. No matter get back mine, no make your mama start moan.
A combination with Gentleman and the Caution, and the track entitled Jah is the ruler. How was the vibe working out with Gentleman?
That was an interesting vibe, to be honest. When I met Gentleman, was sitting outside the studio, Cell Block in Jamaica, and Gentleman came in and you see this white boy, and we start reasoning and talking, and while he's talking, I notice the dialect, right? It's kind of, yo, where you learn to speak like that, right? And I asked him, I said, where did you learn to speak like that? And he said to me, I studied it. Why? I said, you did what?
He said he studied it.
He said he studied it. I said, and I asked him again, I said, you did what? He said, yeah, where I'm from in Cologne, we get books and we read the dialect and how to pronounce the words, and we study how to speak like you guys. And I said, I joke, you're a joke. So, and then it led to us, talking more and more. So he asked me, what am I doing? I said, well, we're working on this album right now, and we're working on a tune today. And then he said to me, well, he's doing some recording right now in Jamaica. And I said, well, how do you like, we'll do a tune together? He said, yeah, man, sure. I said, well, we have the tune on the machine right now. You want to play it? And we went inside the studio, played the track for him, Jazz the Ruler. And within a matter of a few hours, my boy just laid down the vocal on it, and that was it.
Wow, man. He studied.
Study how to talk, chat the language.
That is history, brother. That is history.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many other people studied our thing?
Yeah. It's strange when you listen to people tell you like that, and the conversation went on, and it was a very interesting conversation because I have never met anybody that would tell you that kind of stuff.
That is amazing. Amazing, because sometimes you wonder too, when I listen to him song, I'm like, wow, this brethren really have
have it,
pay attention.
Luck.
So let me move back now into Caution now, brother. Instruments. How many instruments do you play?
It depends on what kind of instruments we're talking about.
Musical instruments. Musical instruments.
I play keyboard, but mostly only in production, really, to create what we're doing. Believe now at this stage in my life, in terms of how we create music, leave that up to Maurice for deal with. And I just focus on all the other things in him that he doesn't do.
That's your
because we all have to understand our space now in order to make things work. So we can't do everything. So
let me go back to ask you, who gave you your first break in this business? I mean, who can you credit to say, well, I'm here today because of this individual?
That's a very interesting question, because I remember in Antigua, there was a show that Dennis Brown came to do there with and I was part of a band at that time, the lead vocalist and keyboard player in that band. And we went and did that show there, and it was a packed house, and that show there, the people didn't realize I was from Antigua. They didn't even realize the band itself was from Antigua.
Wow.
And we did phenomenal. We did go on real good panda show, I'm not lie. And it was surprising to me. But that show there was a show that I think that probably sealed it in my head what is possible and what can happen. Going forward into the future, I would say working, when I was in New York and I started working with Jamin's promotion, George Crooks, Junior Burton.
Big names.
Yeah.
Big names.
I worked with those guys.
All I thought, man, I'm going to take a very short break and come back on board, all right? Stick around. Caution in the building. Not going away. That's right. We stay jamming. Super Jams Radio 103.7 FM, 99.5 WLLY. If you're riding around on the H2 dial. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Midday Jams. You know the motto, you miss a little, miss a lot. And we have international recording artists. I'm going to say international, I mean international recording artists. Caution in the building. Hold on, reasoning. We left off talking about who inspired you. You were telling us who inspired you in the business.
Inspired. Third world.
Third world inspired you. Who got you started?
Third world. I grew up on third world music.
The real ambassadors.
Yeah, man. I as I was telling about George and Junior Burton and George Crooks from Jammy's promotion. Being a young man in Antigua, I had the opportunity of witnessing some phenomenal concerts with Third World and Chalice and so on, passing through Antigua. And when I got to New York and I was introduced to George and started working with them, I was given the opportunity to work around Third World on many shows. And then the relationship with Third World, the musicians became more of a family kind of vibes with them. So George pretty much had put me in a position to work on some shows that normally, like a youth from Antigua, not going to get that. And I became very, very good friends with Jamming's promotion, George, and so on, that over a span of 12 years, George and them was managing me, and I was given the opportunity to appear on pretty much every summer, from spring going to the end of summer. I was touring up and down the East Coast and all the major festivals that was actually taking place, especially the ones that they were producing, which was huge. You know, my first time going on stage in front of over 20,000 people was because of them.
Wow.
Right? I went on a stage at one point where the what it called, the Rikers Randall's Island.
Well, in New York.
In New York. Right?
Describe that feeling for us.
That, let me tell you, you're nervous in one way, but it's a surreal feeling, right? Especially the first time, that particular day that I'm referencing right now, the fire department had closed all entrance to that venue because there was so much people. There was nearly 40,000 people there. Whoa. Imagine you're an artist, which is hard, it's really unknown, and you're going up on a stage where the venue is pretty much packed to capacity.
Wow.
Right? A venue that they're not allowing nobody else come. And when you walk up on stage, all you can see is a sea of people, and you're hearing the rumbling, right, of these people, like thunder rolling. And you start, oh God. You know, but these are things that I remember from them time there. And, you know, I give thanks for them, brother, they coming into my life and giving me the opportunity to really done that and be able to speak about it at this point here, and the relationship that we had for so long and still have, right? But it was a surreal, it was a just amazing feeling to go up there and time after time after time and do that.
Were you nervous at any point?
I wouldn't say something because you're nervous before. At that point, no, I'm not nervous at all with that. You know, when the time comes, I just do it at a whim, you know. But at that point there, when you realize how much people is there. And you're more worrying about failing than succeeding, right? Right? All you're thinking about, Lord, don't let me screw this up. And then you go up there and you just do your thing. From the time I put my phone, when I walk up the stairs and I put that left foot down on the stage, everything goes out the window.
See that?
Right? It's business now. And that is how it thing. Even when I went to Jamaica and I perform on some fest, right? Even that's another experience that was just.
Well, that was your the first Antiguan reggae artist to perform at the some fest.
And I don't think anybody else has come after that yet. But that I didn't know that at the time when I did that. When I did that, I didn't know.
That I think that year you worked out with Puju Banton, Mikey Spice, Michael Rose, and your headline.
That was the year that I met Mikey.
Right.
And from since then, me and him been friends.
Wow.
From since that time there.
No, you headlined so many major shows, perform again, like you just mentioned, 40,000 people, and the list goes on. What would you say the highlight of Caution's career? Was it not being a reggae ambassador out to Antigua, but performing around the world, Third World, and Master Griffiths and Rita Marley, the Buju Banton, Reggae Songfest? What would you say the highlight of your career so far?
The highlight of my career thus far is being here, today, and giving thanks for that. After looking back on all the things that, and sometimes I don't even remember some of the things that we did, I'm just giving thanks that I'm able to be here at this present moment and able to continue doing something that is really dear to me, as the music and spreading the word of it and the message in it. And that in itself is when you start to really put things into perspective, is more powerful than anything else, because we have one life to live.
True.
Right? And a lot of us take a lot of things for granted. And when you get to that point in your life, no matter what it is you're doing, you start to realize that the things that become more important to you. My relationships with the people that I move amongst musically, my family, right? The people that help to pick me up when I'm down, and I do the same, right? These things become way more important than anything else. And when you start to look at the journey that you're going through, and you start listening to the music that we have been gifted to be able to create, to inspire somebody else, we realize now that some things are a little bit more important than other things. And the message and the work that we're doing in life as a human being. So when we're creating the music, that's why you see, no matter what it is you choose to do in life, you must move in life in such a way that you are helping to elevate somebody else around you.
Wow.
Because we are only here for a time.
Wow.
And the things that we create today has a lasting effect on what is happening tomorrow.
Love that.
So, the music is powerful, And, what we put out of our mouth today has a big effect tomorrow.
Yeah, I remember when I interviewed Freddie McGregor, and he reminds me every day that one of the most profound interview he had in his career. And he said when he was 7 years old, and he wanted to do songs that would last for 40 years or more.
Yeah.
And he also wanted to do. He chose this career because he wanted to support the family.
Right.
And so said, so done. Because you can pick up a song like Big Ship today and play it today for so many years, and people still gravitate to it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, music does have a message, and it does inspire people, and it does influence people, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
And before you came earlier, I was talking about real authentic reggae music, where I played Lucky Dube from South Africa.
Big artist.
And I was saying that I can't understand when I go to a stage show and I stand there looking around, like I said, 10 or 15,000 people. And the artists go on stage and start to tell women about themselves and degrade those women. And I'm saying to myself, how does them sisters feel to be glorifying being disrespected? And when I look at real authentic reggae music, like what you guys promote or produce over the years, like I said, it does have an influence on you as you, whether you survive in this world or whether you grow up to maturity at some point. And you look back and decide to look back at your life and say, boy, you're going to put things in perspective. Music have a lot of influence. Whether you're going to take it to the good things, or the good times, or the bad times.
Yeah.
So we endorse authentic music, my brother.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you in the building. Before we talk about the new track, how often do you go home?
Faster than. Oh, listen, if I can get on the plane right now, straight out to this studio, I'm doing it. For this year alone, I think I've been home maybe about 5 times.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm looking to see if I can make that 5 more times before the year done.
What do you do when you go home, man? You just hang out at the beach, just hang out?
No, the funny thing is that when I go home, it's just work.
Just work.
Music work. Everything that's associated with the music and the preparation for the next project and so on. And I find that I've been doing that a lot now and I'm embracing it. Like I say again, I'm embracing it because I'm giving thanks that I'm able to do it.
Right.
And still do it and do it in a different way and do it in a way that I love. And we talk about inspiring and being an inspiration for people and it's a joy. It's a joy to be able to do that, especially the journey that we are walking in this time in our lives,
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in here, we're talking to Antigua's Reggae Ambassador, Caution, in the building on the Midday Jams with Captain Kirk. Jamaica, how often do you go to Jamaica?
I haven't been to Jamaica in a long time. Long time.
Really? Where in Jamaica do you know?
Besides, a lot of places, but it's more so because I still fall, Sylvester Garden fault. Because every time I go to Jamaica, it's still I'm going by Sil, And Sil is here now in the US, decide to migrate. And with that migration, decide now, hey, who I normally go Jamaica, go look for. Is not there. You can drive up the road, go see him.
See that. What are you planning to go to Jamaica, man?
We're planning to go. Actually, it was just yesterday. By my virgin Roland yard, and we were telling Roland that we need to go make a trip. To go back and touch the soil for a little bit.
See that. We're gonna introduce another song from Caution, a track entitled "You're My Sunny Day." Check it.
You're my sunny day. You're my sunny day. Sunny day. You're my sunny day. Sunny day. It's been clouded for a while. And I love to see you smile. Love to see you smile. I think romance is still inside. So take my hand, what do you say? This song can carry us away. It's time to fly. I know a place where we can walk along the beach. The moon's so close we can almost reach, and the island breeze will guide the way. You're my sunny day. Oh, Woke up with you in Antigua today. Rise, 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 rise. As I look out across the bay, the water sparkles in your eye.
Now, music really does have power, because listening to this song, you make me want to go back. Go for the beach.
Oh, that's the idea. Boy.
You're my sunny day.
Yeah, man.
When was this rain?
Sunny day. Well, just to go back, 3.5 years in the past, we started working. I got the opportunity to align myself with this company, Elite Resorts. Mm-hmm. Elite Resorts. They own 5 resorts in Antigua. Mm-hmm. And we were asked to write a song to do promotion for Antigua, which is Antigua I come from. So we wrote, Maurice and I got together, we sit down and pen out Antigua I come from, and we did this video for them. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal video. That tune Antigua I come from just went to the roof.
Big tune. Mm-hmm.
Right? Then the following year after that, they said from the success of that, from the campaign and what it did in the travel world, they asked us to do another song.
Wow.
And we did another tune called Caribbean Vacation, mm-hmm. with Red Fox and myself. Mm-hmm. Again, we did another video for that. That video brought me an award, right, for over 2 million views.
Wow.
On YouTube, organically. And their campaign went further again. They asked us to do another song. Hence, we do Sunny Day. Mm-hmm. Sunny Day was recorded this year. The beginning of the year, we recorded that tune. We went down to Antigua 2.5 months ago. Filmed the video. The video release. As of this morning, when I last checked, because somebody called me and asked me a question, I said, let me check for you. When I checked, the video gone in 1 month of its release, 512,000 views.
Wow.
In 1 month.
Wow. Amazing.
And there, when I behind the scenes, the business side of it, when I discussed, they said it's the success of this is just blowing them away. The company is telling us this.
Wow.
In terms of their marketing. So we know as musicians and artists and producers of the music, we are now stepping into an area which we didn't really have access to.
Look at that, man.
And this
is
what
clean, authentic reggae music.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Yes,
and Kirk, I'm gonna tell you something. It's a strange feeling when you, as an artist, on a flight going somewhere, and people are coming up to you. Don't I know you?
Mm-hmm.
And like you speak, you don't know really what do I say?
But again,
and it comes from just what they see.
Yeah, but again, let me tell you, my brother, you have to understand people like yourself, right? We can call names. God is still Bob Marley, the names we're talking. Remember, you're going into somebody's living room, somebody's house who have had a bad week, a bad day. You go into some people's mind, and when you turn on your music, that's where they find comfort.
Yeah.
That's where they find comfort. You know what I mean? Just like some records say, boy, I recognize the origin. Oh, you name Caution. I remember what a song they will sing, Sunny Day. That they sing. And somebody might be from Antigua. So, Antigua I'm come from, and this one I come from, and you representing Antigua. Just like we talk about Jamaica, and when they sing a song about Jamaica and it gets up there, when you send ball running around with a flag, You know,
it's a
feeling. So
feeling that comes over you, you know, that just
and that's
wow,
why I asked
you know?
about the responsibility early that you mentioned the gift and the talent that you have, and we're glad that you choose it this way, my brother.
Yeah.
You know, and see, it's not only you're uplifting people, but your country as well.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's really, you know, when you start walk certain road, you know, and the reality is, you know, for everyone that's listening to us, we are going to walk a certain road that we don't want to, but is inevitable for all of us. And when you start to look back on what you have done with your time, when the time that you have been given, you start to look at this from a more responsible and cherish the things that you're actually doing going forward, and you start to realize how much people that you're really inspiring. And it's really a joy when you see sometimes some people come and sit down and talk to me and tell me the things that they're telling me, and also telling me, talking about the music and telling me what the music has done for them and inspired them and uplifted them and so on. And then they look at you, the person that is not just delivering something, but you are living it, right? And that is one of the most important things, I think, for most artists. We must learn to live what we speak, what we write and what we put out to the public. We must really learn to live that, because that is what the next person is going to be looking. If you're walking around with things that you're not supposed to be doing, the people in them is feeding off of that. So when somebody come and say, boy, Kirk, I love what I hear you speaking about, and you really inspire me. You must live what you speak. And that is when you come off, that is you. When you come on, that is you.
True, real talk.
You know? Yeah, man.
Following a collaboration back in 2024, a musical accomplishment by the government of Antigua and Barbuda, which we're honored, which I'm quite sure you have many more accolades. What are some of the what disappoints Caution? In this business? What disappoints you?
When somebody tell me, no, I can't do that. You know, I've had so many, and I'm sure most artists and musicians that you've spoken to over the years, sometimes them get to a point in their life where them just feel like giving up.
Have you ever feel that?
Many times. But you know, the most important thing, and my father never let me down yet, right? Because the minute I get to that point where I say I feel like I want to give up, something happens the second after that totally changes that and said, you know, I am not giving up. I am moving forward, right? There has to be a way out of this, right? So for every time I've heard no, I've heard a yes. That is more motivating than that word no. You know? So I'm just keep pushing forward. Yeah. So you see, at this point in the journey itself is that giving up is not an option for me. Right? You see, the music itself is one thing that has never let me down yet in terms of a mental space and the inspiration that music and the powers of the music itself has given me is never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up.
Love that, man. I love
you know what I mean? No matter how hard things get around you, giving up is not an option. Never. So we just keep persevering, and we just keep writing some things that hopefully will inspire the next person to feel the same way.
I love that.
You know, because it's only there on us all the time.
Let's take a listen at Caribbean Vacation.
Come down one by one. Oh yeah. Help me sing this song. Caribbean Vacation. Oh yeah. I need a Caribbean vacation with my feet in the sand. Antigua gives me good vibrations. That's where I belong. Come time to give yourself some an island getaway. Treat yourself the best now. Come taste the island rum. I need a Caribbean vacation with my feet in the sand. Antigua gives me good vibrations. That's where I belong. Come feel the warmth and touch the blue sea. Now that's you and me. Whoa, whoa. Follow me. No reason why your footprints shouldn't be in the sand.
It's called a Caribbean vacation, man. I'm telling you, that better make you definitely want to go home. What a time to release a song like this. So it's a release vacation at summertime, son.
Why?
Footprints in the sun, boy, tell her.
Why? Yeah, you see that beach, you know, you just...
Tell us about this
the
track,
things
man.
that's walking on the beach that... Whoa!
Oh, man, Caribbean vacation, Caution in the building. We're going to take a break in another 2 minutes or so, come back and wrap things up with Caution in the building. So, before we go to break, Virgin, what's your favorite food?
Favorite food?
Yeah.
Aki.
Really?
Not the saltfish, but the aki.
Really?
Yeah, man. Can eat it every day, man.
That's interesting, though. Why? I mean, why not?
Well, when we was going Jamaica on a regular basis, right?
Yeah.
We used to go out by Elsha,
Yeah.
for fish and other things, and then we started get the aki and saltfish.
But Aki, we don't saltfish, but
well, you see. I apologize to the people. But you see, at this stage in my life, I'm 100% vegan.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, we have to just deal with it in that way. But the aki itself, man, is one of my favorite food. Next to before the vegan side of it come into play was snapper. Steamed snapper with a whole heap of vegetables. But those things are behind me now.
All right, we're going to take a very short break. We'll come back and wrap things up here. Super John's Radio, the Captain Kirk Show. So forward.
Surely will be nice. See the black in the flag that you see. For the people, for the strength, for the unity. See the blue that is blue as the sea. So pure and so clean, so much serenity. Anything that you want, you can find it. Boja. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Forget your troubles and come take a load off your shoulder. Tell me, what do you see? Wouldn't it be nice to be bathing in the sun? Antigua me come from 365, we have beaches all around. Antigua me come from. Come on down if you wanna have some fun. Antigua me come from. Let's keep on grooving till we're upside down. Antigua me come from. Feel the weight disappear from your shoulders when your feet touch the ground. Feel the energy, feel the richness and the culture that surrounds you. So delicious is the foods and its variety. And if you want to escape, this is the place to be. Oh yes, enjoy the sun and the beach and the sweet cool breeze. Tell me, how do you feel? Wouldn't it be nice to be bathing in the sun? Antigua me come.
What a powerful song. 27 minutes away from 3 o'clock. And again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to the Reggae Ambassador, not Third World, but Caution. And there's so many things that we can talk about. So many, his tour, his contribution to the business. And so many things we can continue talking about. We're gonna need days because this brother really have planted the seed and really have made his contribution in this business. And bridging the gap with the now generation, the generation of yesterday, and to come. But one of the most amazing thing that I have that really teach us that whatever the mind can conceive, we can definitely achieve. One of the things that he taught us that never give up, like you said earlier, never give up, no matter what the negativity that surrounds us sometimes. Never give up. Always stay positive. Always be optimistic and control your destiny. And what I'm going to ask him now, I think a lot of people who are listening to us can relate. They're probably going through that same situation. And if you don't tell a story, you'll never know. So we're going to talk about his struggle with, and I wouldn't say, I want to replace the word struggle. But a passion that he focused on growing a powerful community to help people like himself and other musicians to fight the war against cancer and other illnesses. So, Caution, take a moment and tell us, how do you cope? What are the challenges that you're going through, and how you can inspire somebody else who's feeling down or probably want to give up because of some of the challenges that you're facing? Talk to us.
Well, never give up. Never give up. Right? Never give up. What I can tell you is sometimes we're dealt with some cards that we wonder why those cards come to us, and we wonder, well, how we're going to get through this. And some people have the willpower to move forward. Some people keep it on the wraps. One of the things that I can actually tell you is that this journey that I'm on right now started at the beginning of COVID. And I went into the hospital to do something that I should have done. And this is something that we probably, we need to talk about it, and especially in terms of men, right? Something that I should have done. And it's a mistake, and I own the mistake, right? And this is where I am here today. And I was being encouraged back in my late 20s that I should go and do a colonoscopy and so on. And I West Indian men, all of us, no matter which part of the West Indies, the Caribbean will drop off. We have this stigma against doing certain things. And I had that stigma, right? I'm going to own that, right? I had that stigma and about doing certain things. And though I was Joe, my brethren, was encouraging me, go and get this. You make sure at this point in your life, elder, senior man in my life, and was encouraging me. And he would constantly tell me when I used to go over by his house and constantly be encouraging me. When you get to this point here, make sure you go and do this and make sure you go and do that and so on and so on. And encourage me. I said, Joe, nobody will mess with my rear. Right? And this was the mentality that I had, right, at that time. At this point in my life, and I would hope that both you and I can help to encourage, some younger people, even some older people as well, get them thoughts out your head, right? Certain things you have to do it, right? And it's prevention is better than cure, right? So hence, moving forward from that, no, that was something that I did not do. But when I chose, one day I was driving home, driving up the 95, and I just felt a pressure. I wasn't in no pain whatsoever. I just felt a pressure on in my lower back. And when I pulled into the driveway and I got out and I stood up, and the pressure was gone, physically from in my lower back. But mentally something was telling me, no, this was not right. I went to the emergency room right away. Mm-hmm. Right, because something was there telling this little guy in my head was telling me, no, somebody was talking to me. Mm-hmm. And thank God, that's why I was telling you, my father never failed me yet. Me proudly can stand up here and tell you that, right? Because that voice in my head that was telling me, no, do this. And I went and do this. When they did the CAT scan, they found a tumor in my stomach. Wow. Right? And the doctor said to me, we're not going to let you go home. You need to go and do this, this, and this. Right? Hence, I went and did the same thing that I was being advised and encouraged to do. Right? That same colonoscopy. And I am living testament of it right now. I woke up the next day in the hospital with tubes because everything was ruptured. Wow. At that point. Now imagine this now. If I didn't follow that guy in my head that was talking to me, I would not be here today to be able to even tell you this. So when I look back on how precious time and life is, you start to really think about everything that you're actually doing. And you're actually creating. Now, from a musical standpoint and the work that we're creating, we start realizing how powerful the work that we're really doing and how people embrace it. While I was in the hospital and they're telling me all what was happening and whatnot, and the doctor came to me and said to me, do you know what's going on? And the doctor said, no. The doctor said, are you in any pain? I said, no, I'm not in any pain whatsoever. My father got this. He said, what? He said, what? I said, my father have this. Don't worry, the work is not done yet. Do what you have to do. Right? The nurse come in, I tell the nurse the same thing. Mind over matter. Right? I am not giving up, so why should you? Right? So let's get on this journey together so that we don't give up together, right? So I started talking to them while everything was happening, and the doctor comes in and says to me, you've been diagnosed. They did a biopsy, and when they checked everything, the diagnosis is colon cancer, stage 3. This is where we're at. This is what we have to do. And I said, okay. And I laid there and started to think. And the mind now is such a powerful thing. I could have laid down there and started to say, Lord, why me? Why me? And the funny thing is that I met a lot of people over this journey that has said, why me? Why not you? Right? Is how you deal with it and what you're going to do from here. I encourage anyone that is in this position with us, right? Don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to talk about it, right? Don't be afraid to communicate with the people around you, because sometimes we have so much to learn, right? On how to cope with what we're dealing with. And it's not a death sentence, right? It's only when you let your mind take you to a place whereby it's going to lead you into a stage where you plan on just giving up. You have nothing else, right? And in my mindset, I as I said in the beginning, my father got this, right? And it's mind over matter. I am not giving up, so I don't want you to give up on me.
Here you are today.
Yeah, man.
Telling somebody, it's a lot of people out there, brother, that you're inspiring right now. People who, like I said, once the negative report comes in, they just give up and just tend to fall prey to the negativity. But you're a strong mind,
and it's such an amazing thing, that when we start communicating with each other, and you realize that everyone has a journey, a road that them have to walk, right? And as I said in the beginning, and I will continue to say, we're not here forever, right? What we do here is the most important thing to help uplift and encourage and inspire the next generation that is coming, and what we leave behind. What we speak out of our mouths as artists, remember that, word, sound, and power, right? You see the power of the pen, right? The word that we speak out of our mouth has done so much damage in this world.
Wow.
And the word that we have spoken out of our mouth has done so much good in this world. What do we want to do? The bad or the good? You know what I mean? So you see, when you're speaking on the journey and so on, and we have to really realize, listen here, hey, I want to be a positive force in my sister's eyes, right? So that the journey that my sister is going through, she is going to feel a little bit lighter. We might not be able to 100%, right? But just a little bit. When my brother listens to me and my brother says, boy, you're an encouragement, you're an inspiration, it has lifted a little bit of weight off of his shoulder. When he listens to the work that you are doing and they realize you are a living testament to what you are actually talking to the people, you realize, hey, giving up is not an option. We're going to fight to the absolute very end. And when the father said, the trumpet.
True. Well, we'll have to go that route, my brother.
Yeah.
One way or another.
One way or another, we have to.
One way or another, yeah.
But what we speak and what we do in this time must make sure that it comforts you at that time. Right? Because at the end of the day, guess what happened? None of this is going to matter to none of us.
True. True.
So let's do some work that helps for courage and uplift and encourage and take it to a place whereby it's just pure joy. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
Caution, let me tell you, man. On behalf of by the way, before we say goodbye, before we close off, Leroy Gibbons just left us recently.
Yeah.
Reggae artist, Leroy Gibbons. Again, our condolences to the from the fraternity. My brethren, I really want to thank you for taking time out to come to the studios.
It's my pleasure, man. It's a joy. Come sitting down, just feeling this.
It's been a long time coming. Love your work. Like I said, we've crossed path back in the day, on different platforms, and to actually have you in studio first time, reasoning, and for you to share so much about your, being a reggae ambassador in Antigua and promoting our culture, our music as well.
Yeah.
And the infusion of understanding it's one narrative.
Yeah.
It's one narrative, speaks volume.
Oh, yeah.
So, sharing the testimony with us, my brethren, and so many people that's listening to you right now in Canada, UK, Atlanta, and the global radio, sharing your experience. I know so many have received those messages.
I hope so.
As it
I
relates,
hope so.
Yeah, man, definitely.
It's important.
Definitely. And I want to thank you thank you, and continued success, sir. Love the radio experience in Canada, UK, and Atlanta. While I don't have access to yeah. Love the energy.
Yeah,
love the tune Antigua come from. Nobody represent Antigua. Yeah, love it. Big tune.
Love that, man.
How can they be reached? How can they be followed, man? How can they be
reached? You can catch me on the website Causion268.com. That's Causion 268.com. Instagram, Caution_. And as my wife always say, Google is your best friend. So once you type in caution, CAUSION, bam, it pops up.
A lot of people in the chat room, my brother, you inspire them as well. And say word of wisdom,
yes, man, give thanks.
Uplifting messages, and for real, my brother, it's really an honor to come here and share your story, because your story is bigger than what we've talked about.
Man. And give thanks, we have to really sometimes carve out the time so that we educate each other. Right? It's not the people, it's educating each other on all these little things, because as musicians, one of the things I can tell you is musicians spend a lot of time doing nothing, right? Especially traveling, right? And the few minutes that they spend going on stage is not in comparison to the amount of time they spend sitting down. And what I think that should start happening sometime, the elder people and them around us need to start educating the younger people. And we need to start spending a lot of time educating ourselves to avoid certain things from happening. Because a lot of these things are really avoidable, especially in this time and this season here that we're in, So education.
What a way to close the show today. Reggae Ambassador Caution in the building. And time well spent. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my brother.
Give thanks.
And with respect.